南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。We pay homage to our respected teacher, Shakyamuni Buddha. Okay, so picture. There's a nice sunset. It is actually not a very good picture, but I don't know why I chose that picture. Oh, for some of the new friends who came up today, we are actually exploring about this book. Is called Way to Home. This is a book written by me. Pictures are taken by me, and the passages are extracted from the meditation retreats that I taught. So we have been studying this, exploring this book for 14 sessions. Today is the 15th, right? So it's for some of the new friends who just came on tonight, this is actually a very interactive session. So we open up the floor for discussion and for sharing. So we have a bit less people today, but it's okay. So nice sunset. Okay, anybody wants to say anything about this picture? What do they feel about this picture? Okay, Waifun and then Jeremy.
Good morning, Sifu. When I see this picture, I see the gray and dark clouds around that, and that's a ray light shines through the
clouds.
dark clouds. That I think that is a symbol of hope.
Good.
And this ray of energy is produce changes and light up the darkness.
Good, very nice. That's good. Okay, Jeremy.
Thank you, Sifu.
Hello.
So it makes me think back of living in Alberta, just the way that the skies were. And in the evening, so in the afternoon around 3 o'clock, the clouds would grow high and the bottoms would go gray. And they would get white and tall. And you would get showers almost every day with them. And they would, by 6, 7, 8 o'clock, they would completely dissipate. And this looks like when they were dissipating. And it was a cycle that always went, and it was always in the hottest part of the year. And that's kind of what it makes me think of, is that cycle of samsara as well, because it's that cycle going completely around every day. And it's because of my experience that I've had with it that makes me think that. But that's what it makes me think.
Okay, that's what you think. That's what you feel. It's no right or wrong, right? So that's what you feel. That's good. Thank you. Is that what it's like in Alberta all the time?
Where I was, it was.
I see.
Yeah.
Where were you? Where were you in Alberta?
Central Alberta. And so we were in Drayton Valley. So kind of what happened is we lived in a small river valley, and an hour away is the Rocky Mountains. So every day you could see the clouds. It was a high pressure and a low pressure area, and they would get trapped because at the river valley it would be a wall, and they didn't go past it, or they started on the other side and they didn't. It was always a big low pressure area that either kept it in or out. And it was every day for about a month every summer. That's what the evenings were like.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Isabella.
Oh, good evening, Sifu and everyone.
Evening.
Yeah. I have a feeling that I'm seeing the picture as a volcano.
No. Yeah,
Yeah,
Mount Baker.
yeah, the slope, and then that, is it like a rock or something? I cannot see. Is it a mountain or something
It's a
underneath?
mountain. Yeah,
Oh,
part of
it's
the
a
mountain.
mountain. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, it's like a volcano, and then it's going to explode, and then the darkness on the right, and then the bright side on the left, but it's all mixed up. Like you can see some bright on the right, but some darkness on the left. So it's all mixed up. So it reminds me of a mix and match of people's personality. Like if
Yes.
I dislike someone, but slowly I will, like usually I learned that if I dislike someone at the first sight, and then like for example person A, and then I dislike him or her very much, I don't want to talk to her, but slowly, like year by year, I will learn some good thing about her, and then slowly I will like her very much, like my good friend. It happens like all the time, like not like someone's husband. I dislike him like at the very beginning, but now I learn, oh, he's a good husband. But it took me like 10 years to discover the good side of him as a good husband, something like
That's
that.
good.
So,
At
so I'm
least
a slow, yeah, I'm a very slow
slow,
delay learner. Yeah, I would say
a
so. I
slow
waste
cooker.
so much time on this. But anyway, I learned this lesson, so at least I learned it. I'm a slow,
A slow
delayed
cooker.
learner. Yeah, I'm not a fast learner anyway. Yeah, thank you so much.
You know, better slow than impulsive. I'd rather you be slow than impulsive. You know,
mm, yeah,
it's just slower. That's okay. But if it's impulsive, then it's actually sometimes it could be very destructive. Okay, good.
yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, anybody else? You have anything to say? I can repeat it for you. Okay. Uh, yeah. Yeah. It's ahead. Okay. Laurie said she see optimism in this picture, and then she see like clouds, the clouds, and then the brightness in the center is just opening up, opening up, opening up. So you know, the next day, she said, you know, is going to be a good day, a bright day, happy day. Optimism. Good. Anybody else? Nora, yes.
Hi. I would say my feeling is of expansiveness. It just seems vast when I look at that picture.
Yeah, yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even though that the clouds are there, it seems that the sky is so high that you can find the end of that high sky, isn't it?
Yeah.
And impermanence is just clouds and changing all the time, right? Oh, Titania, are you going to say impermanence? Sorry, I had my head down, so I didn't see that you put up your hand. That's okay, no problem. Go ahead, say impermanence. Two chants at the same time.
Thank you, Sifu. It's a beautiful photo because the clouds remind me of impermanence and changes. And you could never find the same cloud again. So it's always changing.
Yeah.
And we always tend to look at the clouds and then think of something, some icon, you know, how it looks like, you know, a shape or whatsoever. But for me, I always look at a cloud and enjoy the changes. And because it's just like life, right? It's never the same. It's impermanent. So I enjoy it and I love this photo. And actually my book, I don't see the mountain. Yeah,
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
and now that I see the mountain, wow, it's not just impermanence, but the importance of being grounded and to anchor myself with the Buddha teaching. Yeah, so it's a little bit different. I see a little bit more via the screen. And thank you, Sifu.
Yeah, great, good. Simple. And I see a girl running cheerfully. Oh, you are from Hong Kong. Said I see a girl running cheerfully. That's good. Optimism. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. You are. Yeah. So yeah. Great. Good. Yeah, I know. This is the original picture. The one I posted is the original picture from my picture collection. And I look at this. Oh yeah, you missed the mountain there. I can see the mountain. With the mountain, it's a very different perspective, isn't it? But with the sky, it's just really vast, expansive sky. Yeah, great, wonderful. Anybody else? Oh, if any of you who doesn't have that book, let us know, and if we try our best to actually send you one. You can send an email to us at polam@polam.ca. We can actually send one to you. Okay, Michelle.
Morning.
Are you still in lockdown in Malaysia?
Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
Morning.
Time for meditation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. For me, I see the dark clouds and then the bright side. It reminds me, it's like when I practice, that's the bruise. Like for me, the dark clouds is the bruise. The bruises. The bruises.
Okay.
And then when I start to practice, like I see the hope. The bright side is the hope. But then sometimes I have to admit that I forget things. I don't remember to practice properly. And then at the end of the side, the bruises is actually still there, but it's not to diminish.
Yeah.
It's just my opinion.
Yeah, that's good. You know, we are not saints and sages. We go one step forward and 3 steps backward all the time. Or half step forward and 4 steps backward. Yeah, all the time. But keep walking and keep being hopeful. One day we will probably be on ground zero, and then any step that we take forward will be 1 step forward and no step backward. Okay. So yeah, just be hopeful. Good. Anybody else before we go on? All right, then we go on to the passage. The passage is, practice wholeheartedly. You will become lighter and lighter as your karmic baggage lightens. So hopeful, so bright, and so wonderful, isn't it? It's so optimistic, this passage, isn't it? That's why the Buddhist path is optimism. It's not pessimism. People always think that a lot of people who doesn't understand the Buddhist teachings always say that, or they commented about the Buddhist teachings being pessimistic teachings, because you keep on talking about life is full of sufferings and it's impermanence, and and you have to cut yourself away from all the desires, and all these things, and it's so pessimistic and so passive. I tell you, this is really not a passive path. It is a very, very proactive path. Of course, if you choose a passive path of the Buddha path, then you are really not a proactive practitioner. But if you choose the right path and doing it properly and correctly, definitely you will actually choose, or you will actually walk on it with a very proactive attitude and a very optimistic attitude. Okay, so practice wholeheartedly. You will become lighter and lighter as your karmic baggage lightens. So hopeful, so bright, and so wonderful. Okay, so your turn, the floor is yours about this passage, if you have anything to share about this passage. So Laurie said that practice, of course, practice wholeheartedly is really, the baggage will become lighter and lighter because you understand, you progress, and your behavior changes, your understanding getting better, and the wisdom getting stronger, and definitely your baggage will become lighter. They just come off by themselves. You don't have to do anything. They just come off by themselves, and you become calmer and more peaceful and at ease and at peace a lot more often, right? Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? All right. Okay. We finished tonight. But our baggage is all gone. We can go. Okay. Baggage. Karmic baggage. So next slide, please, Henry. Yes. So karmic baggage. Look at this man. He's carrying a big baggage on him. It makes his back crooked, and he's so heavy, such a big burden on him. So the Buddha actually defined karma as an intentional manifesting itself in physical, mental, or vocal form. So the Buddha said it was the intention alone which had a moral character, good, bad, or neutral. And of course, the actions that come from the intention, of course, also would have good, bad, or neutral, or wholesome, unwholesome, and neutral. But what is the most important, the core that is affecting those actions are the intentions, because of the intention. So the fruit of karma we call is karma. This is a Sanskrit word. A Pali word is Kamma, karma. So there is a word called Kamapala, Karmaphala, Kamapala. Kamapala is the fruit of karma. That person is carrying the fruit of karma because it's already become a baggage. Karma has already ripened, matured to bring on this fruit. The fruit is the big baggage. So this fruit is what we actually experience all the time as a baggage. And just like a seed, when we sow a seed, you don't right away see that there will be a seedling, right? The seed will stay in the ground for some time. Some of the seeds stay in the ground for a longer period of time. Some of the seeds stay in the ground for a shorter period of time. Seed of flowers actually stay in ground for a shorter period of time, and they come out faster. I'm growing ginger. This is the second year I grow ginger. And this year, I think my ginger will have a bigger piece of ginger this year. Hopefully that big. Last year is that big. So hopefully this year, this big. But ginger takes a long time, a very long time, before it actually, you can see the green bud coming out from the soil, from the dirt. So if you are not patient, you always think, oh, my ginger probably rots already. And so it takes it takes up to 3 weeks to 4 weeks, sometimes more than that, to actually start sprouting. So and then when they sprout, they come up and then they turn into a plant or a tree, whatever. Okay, so that's the same thing as karma baggage. So karma is like behavior, like actions, what we have done in the past. But the baggage could surface at any time. It could surface this lifetime. Some of the karma could surface later on, maybe in next lives, or in many next lives. So it depends. But why do we all have karma. All of us have karma. Karma is, when you hear the word karma, it's not necessarily designated as bad or unwholesome. Karma could be wholesome karma, could be neutral. Okay, so it's not always bad. It's not always unwholesome. So, but why would a karma mature to become a fruit, to become a baggage? Why? It doesn't necessarily have to. It doesn't necessarily will bring on a baggage. But how come it will become a baggage? Our attitude towards it. Yeah. How? What kind of attitude? Negative? Okay. Would attachment be a negative? Yes. Attached views, right? For example, let's see. What kind of example we can see? Say is, okay. For example, we don't just collect karma because of our own karmic baggage, because of our own karma. We also can collect others' karmic baggage from others. Can we? I could, but not necessarily. Because why? Because why? Because if it's the first thing is talking about our own karmic baggage first. It's our own karma is all the seeds that we have gathered, we have stored away from the past. Okay, and this lifetime they sprout. And we look at that. Oh, this is nice. This is one nice thing. Then we put it into this bag. So we put it in there. Okay, and then, this is not nice. I really don't like it, but you react to it. Okay, that's what you said, your attitude towards it. Then you react to it with a very strong negativity. Oh, sorry, goes into your bag, right? But it's not just your own attitude towards your own stuff, but your attitude towards other stuff in the outside world. Other people, other people's behavior, other circumstances, anything. It's quite scary, isn't it? Yeah. Because like people, for example, if you think that people don't behave, and you start to actually attach a label to them, or attach a certain view to them, and even though one day maybe that person may have changed already, may have corrected themselves already, but because that attached view that we have for that person, we hold on to that view, and we cannot see that person has really changed. Because why? We are wearing tainted glasses. Our glasses are red, right? Our lenses are red, blue, so we always see them in red. We always see them in blue. because it's tainted, because we have this attached view, the view. So that is what make really turn the karma into a karmic baggage. So you know, during our life we keep collecting is, oh, this is my good stuff, put it in the baggage. Oh, this is her bad stuff, put it in the baggage. So come on, think about it every day in your life. Except that those who are locked down now, they don't see people. Okay, so but they still have themselves to deal with. Think about that every day. How many people we encounter? How many people we actually communicate? How many people we actually work together with? Think about that. How many times we actually hold a certain point of view in those encounters? Headache. And no, be optimistic. Don't worry. Don't cry, okay? So when these packages are there, it's going to be so heavy. And when we want to take a step forward, it's like dragging ourselves down, right? It's so heavy, and sometimes these packages can actually crash the person down, completely down. And so look at the baggage. Really, do you have a lot of baggages? Do you have a lot of baggages, or you don't have any? So we carry these views. Why do we carry such views? Why do we carry such views? You know, oh, this is good, put it in my baggage. Oh, this is bad, put it in my baggage. Why do we carry such view of good and bad? Why? Because we don't understand the way it is. We are ignorant. I mean, until the day that we completely eradicate all these fetters, until the day that we completely attain that total liberation, when we are walking on the path, we are still carrying those baggages. We are still carrying those views. It's a matter of whether we have more or we have less. So walking on this path, the thing is, what we want to do is really try to look at ourselves and see if we can actually remove one little bit every time, you know, at any moment of life. So one big thing is really try not to make others' mistakes to become your own baggage. A lot of times we actually react so badly, so much to others people's mistakes or misbehaviors, and those reactions, our own reaction, actually made our karma. Matures that karma so much faster. Our own karma, not their karma. So be smart. Don't carry others' baggage onto your own baggage. Don't empty their baggages into your baggage. Okay? Don't carry extra one because we have already too much. It's just because we are not wise enough. We're not wise enough. So who are the coordinators of this karma? So who is the coordinator of this karma? Who coordinates all this? So what do you think? What do you think? Who makes this karma? Which part of our existence? You should know this. Okay, nobody knows, so nobody say anything. But anyway, okay, all right. Nora.
Well, there's that saying that the mind is chief. So it's our own minds. We're doing it to
The
ourselves.
mind, yeah. Which part of the mind?
Well, the thinking part.
The thinking part. Okay, all right.
The part
Okay.
that's coming up with all the thoughts, right? It's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Consciousness. Consciousness. Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Okay. All right. Yes. Yes. Okay. But never mind. Yes, it's true. The thinking part of the mind, the consciousness part of the mind. So the Buddha taught about the karma, and karma itself is not strictly discriminative or determinative, but it actually also takes into a lot of circumstantial factors. Yeah, circumstantial factors affect the outcome of this karmic baggage. So it's really not like a straight line and a rigid mechanical line. It's not a rigid process. It is a very flexible, fluid process, this karma. So for us, we look at it now is not all the present conditions can be ascribed to karma. So there is no linear set relationship between a particular action and its result, because you might not able to see the result right there. Okay. So the karmic effect of a deed is not necessarily determined solely by the deed itself. Okay? So it also is determined by the nature of that person who commits the deed. So it's the mind of the person who commits the deed. So that's very important. And by the circumstances that it is being committed. For example, two people, okay, they are say they are a butcher. Both of them are butcher. One raises the animals in a very humane way, and one kills the animal in a humane way. I don't know whether there is a human way of killing animals, but people said there are. But anyway, at least they don't slit their throat like this, okay? But the other one is they don't raise the animals in a humane way. They put them in cages, they beat them up, they kick them, whatever. And then when they kill these animals for the meat, they kill them very brutally. So you look at these two people, they commit killing, but it's a very different kind of killing, right? So it also, you have the karmic baggage or the karma also take into consideration of the circumstances of the way that is being committed. So is karma fate or is karma predestination?
No.
No, definitely no, right? Yeah, if it is fate, if it is predestination, we don't have to practice at all, because there's no way that we can change it, right? But now we can change it, right? So we need to understand that. So these coordinators have to be have to come from our own physical existence. All right, our own physical existence. So our physical existence have how many parts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Physical existence. All this physical. The rupa, lama rupa. Lama rupa. Yeah. Give it back all to me. Lama rupa. 6. Yes, good. 6. 6. First is the eyes. When the eyes see the form, there is a consciousness. When the ears hear sound, there is consciousness. When the nose smell, and there is nose consciousness. And when the tongue tastes, there is a tongue consciousness. When the body come into contact, there is a body consciousness. When the mind come into the thoughts, there will be the mind consciousness. So these consciousness, the first 5 consciousness are really not related to each other, right? How can the eyes related to the ears? Right? The ears cannot see, the eyes cannot smell. The nose cannot taste. The body cannot hear. Right there, so they are independent. They are not connected with each other. But what connects them is the mind consciousness. It's the mind. So the mind consciousness is the real coordinator. That's why the Buddha said the intention comes from the mind. Intention comes from this consciousness. Of course, the way consciousness itself could be misleading in a way. Okay, so but this is what they use in the English term, so we keep using this. So this consciousness is a coordinator. They establish an entire meaningful or not meaningful idea or impression for us. So mind consciousness is this ability to recognize and discriminate. So this mind consciousness can recognize the physical part. It can recognize, right, okay, I've learned this, I know this is called a stick. So the mind consciousness, as soon as it sees this, it knows this is called a stick. So, and then if there is no physical objects, the mind consciousness can recognize by comparison. Okay, when say if you really don't have a physical object, if you see a diagram, it's like a diamond and then a round circle, then oh, this is different. These two are different. So they recognize by comparison, and sometimes by deduction. Okay. So, and sometimes when the physical actually objects are not there, mind consciousness, this is the part that is the really challenging, not challenging part. This is the tricky part of the consciousness, the cheaty part of the consciousness. It creates something. It creates sometimes it could create false cognition with some really irrelevant experience and comparison. So that's the cheaty part of the mind, because it creates, right? So, for example, we see smoke from afar. Oh, there is fire. We think there is a fire, but have we seen the fire? We haven't. We didn't see the fire. But a lot of times we create because we thought, oh, smoke equals fire, right? So sometimes it could be correct, sometimes it could be wrong. So this mind consciousness can also can also instruct us without thinking, instruct the first 5 consciousness to behave, to initiate all kinds of wholesome, unwholesome, or neutral activities. It can actually direct those 5. But you see, the command given by this consciousness, this mind consciousness, is like a flick of moment. It's faster than lightning. So that's why we might not be able to catch it. That's why it's so necessary to develop a strong mindfulness to watch that mind. And sooner or later, you will start to understand, wow, that tricky mind, that cheating mind is so fast. It comes so fast. And it disappears so fast too. Okay? So be careful. What is lurking around is this mind consciousness. Of course, in the Mahayana teachings, there are 2 more consciousness they talk about. Is the 7th consciousness, which is responsible for storing stuff, moving stuff. Oh, I like this, store it away. I don't like this, but you will also store it away. Okay, that's the 7th consciousness. It's called Kilista Mano. And then the 8th consciousness is called Alaya consciousness. So the 8th one is really the seed. Okay, so the sleeping volcano, the sleeping magma, right? Magma. That is the one which hides, which lay really, really low. Those that is the 8th consciousness. Okay, and then then there will be the collector, like the garbage collector. That's the 7th consciousness. But that is only in the Mahayana teaching. That's talk about that. In the Theravada, they don't talk about the 8th and the 7th consciousness. So when there is consciousness, it produces an experience. Okay, so if there is no consciousness, there won't be any experience. It's just plain seeing like this. So we are actually trying when we actually practice, we are trying to develop a consciousness that when we see this, we just see this. We don't label it. It's so difficult, isn't it? We don't label it. We don't attach a view to it. Okay, so it's so difficult. Sometimes you can remind yourself, "Oh, come on, don't be so stubborn. Don't attach." For a flicker of moment, then the next second, then you say, "Oh, well, this is not right. This is ugly. This is beautiful." Right? So similarly with the other 4 consciousness. Okay, so really consciousness really is the indispensable element in this karma making. Okay, in the making of this karma. So what we are doing now, what we are actually cultivating with mindfulness is really we wanted to change the way our consciousness deal with things. Okay, so not easy, but it's possible. Okay, so with karma, we know whatever that we experience right now, everything is meant to be. Right here, right now, everything is meant to be like this. But a lot of time, we forget about that. And yesterday we have a certain kind of mind. So today we have this kind of consequence. And this kind of consequence, the way you deal with this, the way you deal with this consequence right now, this result right now, actually determines what tomorrow will be, right? But a lot of time we forget about that. We forget that we cannot change. We cannot change what? We cannot change the past. You can't change the past. We cannot change the past, but a lot of times we forget about that. We forget about that, then we lose the opportunity, and we can ruin. You can ruin. You can ruin what? The present. Because we just lost the chance to change. So, because why? We indulge in the past. And when we ruin the chance of the present, we lost that chance, right? And also, a lot of times, we also ruin the present by what? Worrying about what? The future, right? So either on this side, on either side of this, the present, if we place our mind in the past, or we place our mind in the future, worrying about the future, we ruin whatever there is at this present moment. Isn't that true? Haven't we experienced that constantly? Right? All the time. So the past, the present, and the future, they all add together. It becomes a time and a space, doesn't it? It becomes a time and a space. And it's also depicting a cause and effect, right? So whether we are fortunate or we are unfortunate, we are happy or we are unhappy, actually, I can tell, we can say that it's all because of this past that we cannot change, right? This is what it is right now. I'm stuck here. But we are not stuck. We think we are stuck because we are so attached to our own view. This is the way. No, that is not the way. We can change. We can unstuck ourselves. Right? How can we unstuck ourselves? Depends on how we deal with whatever that comes up right now from the past. So this cause and effect is always like running in circles, always. And the cause we cannot actually grasp, we cannot change, but we can correct, we can change whatever that is happening right now, with whatever consequence that past causes have brought on to this present moment. So remember, don't always say, oh, yesterday it was like this. Come on, it's already today. And, oh, our Goldie dog is here today, and she's sneezing 10 sneezes. But anyway, it's too dusty. So yesterday is gone. And yesterday, yes, today has a part of yesterday in here, in today. Definitely, right? Definitely, there is a part of yesterday in today, right? But how are we going to deal with this part today? What it will turn out is tomorrow. How we deal with it, that little part of yesterday in today, how we deal with this will become what is going to become tomorrow. You see, when we are so ignorant, we keep churning in these cycles, and we keep going into yesterday, we keep going into tomorrow, and we forget the only day that we can use, the only moment that we can use is right now, right here. And if we want to change whatever that is from the past, we have to change right now. And we want to plant or to have a bright future, we need to focus it right now. Not in the past, not in the future. Okay? So if you're constantly waiting for tomorrow, I'm sorry, tomorrow may not come. Okay? So the karma, the fairest, 最公平啊, the fairest of life. I think you have heard me telling you a story before. It's about Mr. T in the prison and being accused of very bad allegations. And so he protested. He went on a hunger strike for 7 days, no eating, no drinking. And nobody could convince him. So they called me up from the prison and asked me if I could do anything. I said I could come in. So I went in and saw him sitting on the floor. And he kept telling me, I said, how are you doing? And he said, I'm not fine. Of course he's not fine, right? And I said, so we talk and talk. He said, sister, I did not intend to do anything. I did not intend to do anything bad at all. I said, really, does it matter if I believe you or if I don't believe in you? It really doesn't matter, right? And he said, it's not fair. I said, it's not fair? I said, the fairest is, in this world, the fairest is karma. Because karma doesn't have eyes, karma doesn't have ears, karma doesn't have GPS, karma doesn't have a phone number. You carry your own karma. Nobody can take your karma, nobody can give the karma to you. Your karma is labeled as your karma. It's not my karma. So the fairest in this world is karma. Karma. Okay? So it's like if you want tomatoes and you need to plant tomatoes, you cannot get tomatoes if you plant the squash. That's the fairest. So of course, the way we deal with our own karma at this present moment really planted seeds for the future karma. Okay, so in this world, there are, as we talked about just now, there are individual karmas. Even twins, triplets, quadruplets, they have different karma. Okay, and we have 6 siblings in our family, and we have totally different life and different experience. and of course different lifespan, different kind of families, and different kind of thinking, and so different. That is the individual karma. But yet, there is one big thing, is called collective karma. Collective karma is what you call is collective karma. We are going through collective karma now, really. In BC, we are going through collective karma of forest fire. In Europe or in China, they are going through collective karma of floods, torrential rains, or in the States, going through collective karma of tornadoes, right? Hurricanes. Why do you call those collective karmas? Because it affects a lot of people. But yet, in a collective karma, there is also individual karma in play. That's why we are safe here. We are, or even people in the area with forest fire. Some may have totally lost their homes. Some may have lost part of their home. Some may have lost only half of their home, or some may not have lost their home. That is individual karma in a collective karma perspective. Okay, so for example, many years ago, there is a very strong tsunami in Japan, or before that there is another one in Thailand, in Bali, huh? Thailand, huh? So I mean, they killed a lot of people, but yet there are a lot of people who can escape from those collective karmic events. So that's why we need to practice. Why? Because our practice can change our individual karma. Within the collective karma, we can change our individual karma. So, you know, in sometimes you hear stories that, you know, big fire and the monastery will still stand, or the whole monastery is gone, but the statue still stand. The statue of the Buddha or Bodhisattva will still stand. So you can see that is individual karma in this perspective of collective karma. Okay, so all this karma carries power, carries strength. Okay, they have that kind of strength and that kind of power. So can you imagine if each one of us could generate one bit of compassion? If the whole world, if more people in this world will generate a little bit, one drop of compassion, what will the world be like? On the contrary, if more people carry one drop of anger, can you imagine what kind of world this will be? Right? So this is collective karma, but we can change. We can change the world. We have changed the world. Look at that. We have changed the world. Look, we have 42, 44 degrees in the summer. Who did that? We did that. We changed it. Can we change it back? Yes, we can change it back. We use less plastic. We save more water. Don't just turn on the tap and brush your teeth, right? And we use less chemicals. on our land, and we don't support those people who use pesticide to grow the fruits or the vegetables or whatever. We could help. We could chip in. No matter how minute that drop of water, it's still a drop of water. If that drop of water falls on, more drops of water falls in the desert, there will be plants coming out from desert. If enough water, you see? So we all need to chip in to make this world a better place. So as who governs our karma? Of course, I just said that who is the coordinator, our intention, but who governs this? Who is the big chief who governs our mind? Is there somebody that would judge us? Oh, you have done this, then you go to room 1. You've done this, you go to room 2. You've done this, you go to basement. Who judge you? Nobody. There is no such thing as a God. There is no such thing as a creator that's going to judge you. You are your own master. You are your own judge. Because why? Karma runs along the line of a cause and effect. It doesn't run anywhere. So if you follows morality, yes, it's a morality, but it's not just simply abiding by the rules. It's using those rules to change how we act, right? It's not just abiding, it's changing it, changing how we act, how we think, how we speak, how we see, how we deal with people. So don't think that, oh, this is my karma. Don't blame everything on your karma. It's not fair. And then that is a big excuse. You just shrug off all your responsibility. No. Don't blame everything on your karma. If you kick your foot onto a chair, it hurts, right? You're going to blame the chair? You're going to blame the desk? You're going to blame this? Hey, if you're not here, I won't kick you, right? If you don't left turn, there won't be that accident. Just like that, right? Whose fault is that? Don't blame the chair. Don't blame the desk. There is no judgment here. It's just that you are not careful. That's all. And don't blame, oh, it's my karma that I kick the chair, I kick the desk. It's not karma. It's just that you're careless. That's all, right? And so that's why it hurts. So we need to know that if we act under the influence of negativities, we could experience difficulties and we could experience troubles. That's for sure. But this one doesn't necessarily mean that we are bad people or we are criminal. It only means that we are ignorant, right? So if we act without the influence of these negativities, then we will not be in this kind of troubles. So then we may experience some happiness, but remind you that happiness won't last very long. So we need to keep on constantly checking our own habits, our own behavior, our own reactions. Because if we constantly develop a certain way to do things, to think things, to say about things, we create a habit. And that habit would determine how we deal with the present, right? And then how we deal with the present will determine what is my future will be like, what the future will be like. So we have a choice. If we don't want troubles, we don't want to hurt others, we don't want to hurt ourselves, we have an option. We could consider how we actually say things, how we actually deal with things. We could actually be more mindful, take a step back. So how can we do it? How can we change? By practicing wholeheartedly. By practicing wholeheartedly. So wholeheartedly means sincerity, complete, committed, genuine, real. You look up on the with the dictionary what is wholeheartedly means. Devoted, warm, earnest, dedicated. Oh, they have so many definitions. So wholeheartedly doesn't mean that you are always trying to say yes to people and never say no, even though that they have done wrong, and you don't tell them. No, you tell them, but you tell them in a very different way. Okay, so wholeheartedly, how is first is by watching the mind, and secondly, or training the mind, and secondly is guarding the body. So the first is watch the mind is by training and taming the mind. So that is, you have all experienced that because you all meditate. And so you know that how crazy that mind is, how monkey that mind is, and how difficult it is to train and tame it. But no matter how difficult it is, it's still worthwhile to train and tame it. And you already taste the fruits of a trained and tamed mind, that kind of ease and peace and calmness, right? You remember the first time you meditate. Can you still recall the first time you meditate, how difficult it was and how crazy that mind is? And now when you meditate, you have improved, haven't you? You have progressed, haven't you? You have gained a little bit, yeah, you have gained a little bit grounding, you have gained a little bit calmness, you have gained a little bit focus, you have gained a little bit balance, right? So that's the way to do it. Is, every day one little drop, every day one little drop, it will become a big ocean. So if we could actually constantly trying to remind ourselves, as I said in meditations, this moment of awareness, right? Remember that. You remember what I said in the meditation? Sort of. Okay. So this moment of awareness, it allows you to realize, and this moment of awareness, it allows you to experience. This moment of awareness, it allows you to change and correct. This moment of awareness, it allows you to transcend and transform yourself. So any moment, each moment could be a moment of really golden opportunity. Okay, so of course it's not easy, but it doesn't mean that it's not possible. So keep doing it, all right? From way before you started meditation, you have no awareness. Now you have started into the meditation for some time, you have a little awareness, and it's a progress. So keep working, all right? And then guard the body is guard all the six senses, our eyes, our ears, and guard them. Don't let them lead you astray. Right? Remember in the book, in the Buddha's words, guard the six senses, right? Don't let them go astray and go into flames. So So the 4 types of people, when we look at karma, we can see that when we were born, some people are born into darkness. Okay, so some people are born into darkness. That means they're born into, maybe born into a broken family, maybe born with disabilities, whatever, non-ideal situation. But when they grow up, when they live their life, they can't come out of that darkness. They keep walking into that darkness. So that is darkness towards darkness. That means they let the karma play out, and they don't use any present moment to change their karma for the future. So the dark karma follows all the time. And at the present moment, when they have an opportunity to change their karma in a dark karma into bright karma, they just let it go. So the future will be dark karma, new dark karma, on top of old dark karma. Okay? And all darkness towards brightness is they were born into difficult situations, but when they grow up, when they progress, they change their karma. They deal with it differently, and they walk towards brightness. So it's bright karma in the future. Okay, so, and then brightness towards darkness, though they were born into good conditions, with good health, good families, good education, everything. But they don't cherish, they don't treasure, and they don't fully utilize it in the right way at that present moment. And they go on to dark karma. For example, people who have a little money or who have a little fame, they tread on a path of drugs, alcohol, or pornography, or whatever. That is, they allow themselves to walk towards darkness, multiplying or creating new dark karma. Even though they're born with very good karma, bright karma. Or some born into brightness, and they walk into brightness. So this is what how we can actually change our future. Of course, sometimes you might not really be able to completely from darkness into complete brightness, but yet at least we go into less dark. At least we don't multiply more dark karma for the future. And that's what the Buddhist teachings always say. Don't the old karma, the old karmic baggages are not removed yet, but don't add more new karmic baggage. Right? So that's very important. Because why? When we go, we cannot bring anything with us except karma. Only the karma will follow us. 萬般帶不去，唯有業隨身. Right? So nothing stays except karma. Except karma. So it seems that, we were born with nothing. It seems that we will be gone with nothing. No. We'll be gone with the karma. The karma follows us because consciousness, the two consciousness, actually the storage, the computer chips. So today we have this. Reflect upon ourselves. Have I made full use of today in a more fruitful way, in a brighter sense? If not, tomorrow when we wake up, we remind ourselves, Yesterday is gone. I have not used it fruitfully. Today I will try my best to use it more fruitfully. There, give us a chance to actually change our karma for the future. Then, okay? Karmic baggage. I hope after listening to tonight's talk, a little bit of your karmic baggage is, is you shrug it off. You know, especially our attached views. Let us dedicate our merits. May these blessings extend to all, that we with all the other living beings together will attain the Buddha way. May we wish more and more people will encounter the wise words of the Buddha, study them, understand them, and put them into practice so that one can liberate themselves from their own entanglements and be truly happy, free, and peaceful.